And hello, everyone. Today, kind of breaking the mold because normally what I do is I start recording before the guest gets on, and we just kind of hit the ground running, and I just start the episode in the middle of the conversation. It's a little bit different, as my friend Greg would make fun of me for saying, because I say that about every one of my episodes. I'm doing something a little different today. Today, I'm actually having a gentleman by the name of Craig McNeill. That's how you pronounce it, right? Craig McNeill?
Yes,
Okay,
that's
Craig
right. Yeah.
McNeill. He has a YouTube page called Fight the Flat Earth, FTFE. Type in Craig McNeill in YouTube, you'll find him. Uh, he does live debates on YouTube, which I've watched a couple of those, and they are fascinating. They are amazing to watch. So, Craig, thank you so much for being on here today. This is quite the honor. So,
No worries. Thank you for having me.
all right. And first and foremost, how are you today? Just before we get into the conversation.
Doing fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. Loving the life. I've recently moved into a new property and I'm very happy with where I am at the moment. I'm just 2 minutes from the beach, which is always nice.
Oh, great. I heard
Yes.
you um Jim Brewer.
Yes.
You were on Jim Brewer's show and you had
Yeah.
mentioned that you live in Scotland now. Is
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
that still true? Okay, so you live in Scotland and from what I understand, 99% of the time it's rainy and
Well, yeah, we invented
shitty
rain.
weather. Oh,
Um,
you invented
yeah.
rain
Yeah.
over in Scotland. Okay.
People complain about the weather in Scotland, but they say in Scotland, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
Hmm. Okay. We'll play some golf, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, so I want to start off by saying that I am by no means any kind of expert in the field of physics, astronomy, any of that kind of thing. I just find it fascinating to watch a flat earther talk, or as I've seen, you have covered a couple of things, flat earth and I guess evolution
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the other one that you cover in debates. And I kind of want to get into that. But first, I want to ask like, can you talk about your background and how you got into this whole public flat earth debate uh, gimmick, whatever you call it?
Well, yeah, I'm ex-military and I've got two degrees, a degree in physics and a degree in nuclear engineering. But unfortunately, I got injured in the military, and ended up not being able to do it anymore. And I continued trying to work until the injury got too bad, and then I was stuck at home with nothing to do for a long time. And just came across kind of flat Earth and then met one in real life. And I kept saying to my wife, "Look at these stupid flat earthers," and she's like, "I don't care. Just make a YouTube channel. You've got a degree." So I did.
All right,
And
okay.
it took off really quite fast. I found quite early on, I found someone that had just left the flat Earth. So I did probably the first interview with an ex-flat earther. And that instantly grabbed the algorithm's attention and
Hmm.
helped me take off. And then there was a channel called Non Sequitur Show that were doing debates, but then they kind of fell apart and there was a void left. So I took up that void and just took on all the flat Earth debates, and now I've done about 1,200 of them.
Yeah, I saw your page. You're like, oh, 1.2K. I'm like, what? That's the number of videos that you did. I'm like, wow, you have quite a few more followers than videos. And that is something good to be said about you. I think you have something like 55,000 followers.
Yeah,
Is
56,000, I think, at the moment, nearly
56,000? Yeah.
57. Yeah,
Yeah, you're not doing so bad for yourself. So that's really good. So I'll
fighting for
tell
that 100K. I want that plaque.
I think I follow you. If I don't, I'll definitely make sure to hit the follow button. I just, I
Thank
found
you.
your video. So what actually drew me to you in the first place was I've had personal interactions with Stephen Alonso.
Oof.
The famous Stephen Alonso. Um, so
Dr.
Doc,
Stephen
Dr.
Alonso.
Steve, we're using air quotes.
Yes.
This will also be released as a video, but it will, the audio can't see the air quotes. Um, so yeah, I've had a few interactions with him. We were well, he was, I still am on a page called "Don't Be Fecking Stupid." Of course, Earth's not flat. I don't know if you're part of it or if you know about
I'm
it.
pretty sure I am on that one.
Yeah, okay. So I go on and I ask questions that don't have terribly scientific answers. Like, oh, why do stars appear to rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere around Polaris, and why do they rotate clockwise in the southern hemisphere around Sigma Octantis? I think I'm saying that right, Octantis.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. See what I'm saying? I'm not an expert at the field, so um, yeah, and I would ask questions like that, and Stephen would slowly but surely start responding to every one of my posts, with ridiculous answers. Like there's multiple firmaments. I believe he had mentioned that to you.
Hmm.
Um, so after a while, I started asking him too many questions, and he publicly announced that he was blocking me because I was trolling, quote unquote. Uh,
It
and
became uncomfortable for him.
it became uncomfortable for
Yes.
him. That is for absolute sure. And then almost immediately after that, I saw that you had done a 3 hour debate with him. And when I say the word debate, it's
Wait, that was
because
only 3 hours? It felt
as
like
you,
9.
it felt like so much longer, right? Just because I mean you were the one who did the had to actually have the interaction with him. I got to sit back and enjoy it for
Yeah.
3 hours straight, and I will say incredible because first of all, it was the first video of yours that I had seen. And second of all, I was like, okay, this is going to be fun for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. But for 3 hours, it held my attention because he's so fucking ridiculous in the head,
Oh,
right? Now,
good Lord,
yeah,
yeah.
yes. Now, after all that being said, can you talk about how he ended up on your debate? Like who reached out to who and what?
Well, I saw him talking to Will Duffy,
Hmm.
and Will wanted. I talk to Will quite often. We're good friends, and I know that Will wanted to say a lot of things to him, um, because Stephen had been saying a lot of untruths about Will, had like stolen his merch to sell and everything, and Will wanted to say things, but Will's far too nice.
Uh-huh.
And the debate between Will and Stephen was a bit sterile, in my opinion. Will approached the subjects, but never really pushed anything, and it felt more just like an interview with Stephen rather than a debate of any pushback. So I wanted to kind of say the things I knew Will wouldn't. So I
Okay.
contacted him. He demanded money. I told him that I charged the same amount. Um, uh,
Okay.
we came to an agreement that I could have him for 3 hours, and I wanted to do that mainly to attack the lies that he says and the things that he said that are really untrue. That's why I started that debate with a whole 10 minutes of you say you're a doctor and
Yeah.
that's just a lie.
It
Yeah,
was.
so
Hmm.
yeah, I had to take on what the mantle that Will really wanted to have, but is obviously far too nice to have. I don't have any qualms about being a dick. So,
Well, yes, I with all due respect, I could see that right away. So, but I will say this, you become angry and you become like, I think you have, as you've said, two separate personalities. One is Craig, and the other one
Yeah,
is FTFE. And
yeah,
you even warned him. You were like, you're already lying to me, and I'm afraid you're going to be talking to FTFE and not Craig. And
yes.
he was basically like, okay. Now, watching him, I mean, it was actually remarkable because I watched that one and I watched the one I have his name on here. Who's the most recent one that you did? Like the guy who like wouldn't stop spinning around, in his
Oh,
backyard.
Don Lee.
That was Don Lee. Okay.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Now, Stephen Alonso, as mentally deranged as he is, he and I hate to give him credit for anything, but he actually managed to stay very level-headed through all of your like barrages of insults. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. Because he needs to. He
Hmm.
needs to because he needs to have that public image. So I don't even know, to be truthful, I don't know if he actually believes what he says. I feel like he probably doesn't. So, I mean,
I don't think he does. There was one
yeah.
very particular point in the debate where We were
Hmm.
talking about his campus that he says
Hmm.
that's nestled in the jungles or whatever. And he kept claiming it's a physical building. I asked him to show, proof of that. He's like, well, I took this picture that's on the website. And I ran it through a few things. I couldn't find any images online, so then I ran it through an AI detector, and every single AI detector was like, yeah, this is an AI image. And then you look at the image and it's the shadows are going the wrong way and the people don't have hands. And you're like, oh, right. And even when I pointed that out to him, he's like, well, I believe I took the picture.
I yeah, I was actually listening to that part, and just like I say, in complete awe. He goes, "Oh, I believe it's real. I believe it's real." He says, "I live on the campus
Yeah.
where I took the picture. I believe it's real." What do you mean you believe it's real? If you
Yeah.
actually live there, you know it's real. So
Yeah,
I
that's a very strange thing
yeah,
to say. I believe it's real.
I believe it's
Well,
real. Yeah.
it's either real or it's not.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, so it was very clear at that point to me that he really doesn't believe what he says, and it is just some kind of maybe act.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I just feel like maybe there is some mental derangement there that maybe he does believe some of his lies.
Well, so I will say to that, yes, he is clearly mentally deranged, whether he believes what he's saying or not. Because if he does, that's just okay. I don't even need to explain why he's
Mhm.
mentally deranged. But if he doesn't believe what he's saying, he's basically using this whole thing where like he takes advantage of people's stupidity and simple-mindedness, and he's like, hey, listen, most flat earthers don't tell you the truth, but I'm going to tell you the truth, and here's my textbook that I'm selling for fucking $150 or however much he sells it for. And or you could get the digital copy for 10. And how many people do you think actually buy the physical copy? He
No,
probably,
no, no one.
yeah, he
Maybe his mum.
if I was his parent, I would be disappointed in him.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Whenever he comes
yeah.
up in conversation, they change the subject.
All
So how's your
right.
son doing? Well, I've
Yeah.
been painting the house.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. What a mess. And oh, I used to live in Canada. Now I live in Belize. Look, maybe it's true that he lives in Belize and he used to live in Canada, but I don't know. I think his parents are like, thank goodness he's far away.
Yeah,
So,
maybe his parents made him move to Belize.
oh, perhaps that's a good thing. So he could go and teach and get a doctorate from himself.
Yes.
So, okay, I could go on bashing Steven Alonso all day long, but uh, all right. Now, regarding that, you said you had something like 1,200 debates, which
Yeah.
is which is kudos to you. I don't think I would have the energy for that, but that is amazing. Now, what normally happens? Because you said you reached out to Steven Alonso. Do people normally reach out to you, or do you reach out to them, or what?
It's a mixture.
Okay.
I have Facebook and I have X and I have Reddit, but I literally only use them to communicate with flat earthers. My algorithm on Facebook is it must think that I'm dumb because it just
Right.
feeds me flat earth stuff because I go through the flat earth groups and I
Yeah.
see people that are saying the stupid things and I just challenge them to debates, or they see me and they challenge me to a debate, or
Mm.
I'll go from the spam in my email from the AOL.coms and see, oh, there's a flat earther there that actually wants to debate.
Oh, for sure.
Uh, yeah,
And, and
or a lot of my people in my Discord will contact me and say, "Oh, I found this flat earther. He says that he'd destroy you in debate." And that's the first stage.
yeah.
And that's the easy part is kind of the initial communication. However, talking with flat earthers is not like talking with a normal person. It's like reading a book with half the pages missing.
Hmm.
Um, so you'll make the initial communication, and then you'll be like, right, so we're gonna have this debate, and then they go silent for like 3 days, and then they send you 10 texts of meme spam, and then say you're gonna get destroyed in debate, and you'll be like, well, so can we? When's the debate? Can we get that arranged? And then they go silent again. Um, if you get to the point where you've arranged the debate, there's a 50-50 chance of them actually turning up or being able to click a Zoom link. So it's not quite as simple as just making the contact and then having the debate. It's
Uh,
it's a battle in between. It's not like talking to a normal people.
yeah. I mean, I see that. What I find funny. No, I've only like I watched a handful of your videos because, like I said, I only discovered your channel like maybe a month ago. Um, what I love is that it starts off, you're both very cordial, very like, respectful, friendly toward each other. And then as soon as it starts, you let them talk first. They'd be like, "Oh, that guy Don Lee. My God." Now, from what I saw, that video was like a lot shorter than most of the other ones because he basically just had to fuck off. Like
Yeah,
almost, his son was crying like on the porch table. What is this man's life? I don't know,
I know.
but but um, you had mentioned, and he didn't deny it, that he said he's not like other flat earthers. He goes about it in a much different way. And then when you said that, his response was, "Well, you caught me off guard." I and I say like that's a terrible excuse. It's just watching someone say that, "You caught me off guard." If I ask you a question, Craig, I say like, "Oh, how does such and such work?" I don't even know. Like star rotation work, you would know how to answer it
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter if you're not prepared to answer the question. You know the answer. So I don't know how he would go about preparing. By the way, did he ever actually come back?
I am literally talking to him it's like I just said, talking to
Mhm.
flat earthers. He still wants to have this debate. He told me that I didn't turn up for a debate, even though I've been speaking to him every day. And it's like, well, you didn't turn up. And I'm like, I've even contacted the host of Monday Debates and created a group chat to try and, there's a possibility I'll be having the proper debate with him on Friday. But yeah, it is crazy when he's like, "Oh, you caught me off guard," because he contacted me and demanded the debate over and
Yeah,
over and over.
you
Uh,
showed this. I'm sorry.
yes, and to then be like, "Oh, well, I wasn't. You caught me off guard." Well, you wanted the debate. How can I catch you off guard if you were the one that wanted to debate me?
And you showed the screenshots of
Yeah,
him basically blowing up your was that Facebook or what
yeah.
was that? Um I will say that you showing that was kind of what inspired me to reach out to you in the first place because I'm like, oh, okay, it's as simple as that. You just reach out to the guy, he'll get back to you. Um, and that's why I did reach out to you. Now, I didn't know what was going to come of it. You
Yeah.
obviously you're a busy person. You're doing a lot of this stuff, and so I didn't know if I was going to get a response or if you were going to be like, I don't know, I'm like kind of busy. So when you said sure with an exclamation point, I was like a deer in headlights. I was like, oh, now I have to now I have to prepare for this. Okay, but you know what? I will say I'm very happy that you did. I'm very happy that you agreed to kind of help the little guy out, such as myself.
And you see
Um,
how you and I communicated? You asked
yeah,
me a question, I
mhm,
responded, you said a date, I said that date sounds good, you set up the meeting. That's how it should be.
that's it.
It
That's
shouldn't be 3 to 4, 5 days of, can we get this arranged?
mhm,
No, that's just a meme. Can we, is this time good? Don, where have you gone? Oh, I wake up in the morning, I've got 1,000 messages of, no,
yeah.
none of those say a time.
Mhm.
Normal people communication. It's so easy.
The oh my God. I mean, I don't even there's not much to be said about it, but the memes of people standing upside down on a ball, I can't deal with it. Oh, where does the water curve? Where do airplanes have to curve? I'm like, you fucking idiot.
Why
That's not
doesn't
how
the water fall off?
why doesn't the water fall off? It's in outer space. Anyway,
How
so
did you first come across all the flat Earth stuff?
so the way that I first came across it, and this was sort of like what started an addiction. Now, it's like now I don't have any physical vices like smoking or drinking or anything like that, but apparently mentally I can get addicted to things that are pretty bad for you. So I was just perusing, scrolling through my phone, and there was, I think it was on Instagram. Uh, Someone somewhere wrote something like, "Oh, some people actually believe that Earth is flat." And I was like, "Oh, well, isn't that silly?" And I started looking at the comments, and this one guy was so adamant, like, "Oh, the Earth can't possibly be a ball hurtling through space at 67,000 miles an hour. And he said, if you are in a helicopter, I'm sure you surely know the helicopter argument,
Yeah.
but I'll describe it to those who might not know what it is. If you're in a helicopter and you lift off the ground and you go back down like whatever 10 minutes later, you're going to land in the same spot more or less. If the world was actually rotating, you would land in a completely different place. And it's just sort of like when you see people making that argument and when you try to explain to them the conservation of movement and all that, and they don't. It's either they don't want to hear it, they don't they don't understand it enough that they can believe it, or they believe it and they just want to troll. I don't know. Sometimes I find it very difficult to believe that 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 these people actually believe what they're
Well,
saying.
that's the
But
thing. You
mhm,
can you can say the dumbest thing in the world,
mhm.
right? And it will sound like you're a flat earther. You
Yeah.
know, that argument of, oh, well, the helicopter would, move, you'd be in a different place.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but when I was on a plane going to Tenerife the other month, when I got up to go to the toilet, I didn't slam into the back of the plane at 800 miles an hour. I think I'd remember that,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my goodness. It is just so. And but so you asked how I first got into it. That was how I first got into it. And then what happened was I went on Facebook and I'm like, oh, this is kind of an interesting topic. Maybe I'll go and I'll try to talk some sense into these people. And that was my first mistake. It's like
Hmm.
you cannot talk sense into an idiot.
No,
So
that's how I
that's
started.
hmm
Hmm. I went into it in with the same kind of
yeah.
feeling at first. I can explain it to them. They go, oh yeah, like you're right.
Hmm.
And one of the first groups I went into was Nathan Thompson's Flat Earth group that got deleted, and that makes him very upset. And I just
Yeah.
wanted to have a conversation about gravity because gravity is the thing to me that totally proves that the Earth is a globe. Um, and hey guys, how are you? I'd like to have a conversation about gravity, and I think there's about 1,000 laughy emojis that
Hmm.
came back, and just
Yep.
memes and calling me an idiot, and it's like, well, if you can't even begin to have the conversation, how are you going to actually start to understand anything?
Well, that's flat Earth logic. They they all say it. They all
Yeah,
say, I believe what I can see with my eyes. And I have on several occasions said, have you ever seen, let's just say, for example, Penn and Teller Fool Us on TV, right? You can see with your eyes that these impossible things are happening right in front of you.
yeah.
So you have to believe that that's real. Amazingly enough, no one ever responds to that when I say that. They just disappear.
My
So,
argument against that is, oh, just believe what my eyes tell me. Okay,
mhm.
so the world is actually 240p, and disappears after about 10 meters.
Uh-huh.
Brilliant. That's what I
Absolutely. Yeah.
should believe, is it?
Hmm. Oh boy. Yeah. Now I'm gonna kind of make a call back to something that you said a few minutes ago that it's about a 50-50 shot that the debaters will actually show up to the
Hmm.
to the debate. Uh, I have done this before I knew you existed. I was just sort of like, you know what? Let me see what I can do. Because as someone who does not really have background in science, the arguments or the questions that I'm going to ask are going to be very, very basic and easy to understand. So like for example, with the star rotation or the sunsets and sunrise and all that. Um, Twice I've had people agree to debate me on Zoom. I said, listen, I'm going to record it. I'm going to publicize it in the group. If that's cool with you, let's go ahead and do it. And both times they did not show up.
Hmm.
Um, and they were gung ho about it. Like you said, like message after message after message. And then, okay, it's time to debate. Nowhere to be found. So yeah, and then they ask for a second chance, and I'm like, I'm not giving you a second chance. Like I'm not wasting more time than I already have. Um, and one person wanted to do a written debate with me, which I'm like, this whole group is a written debate. So what the hell are you
Yeah.
talking about? But I said, okay, I'll do a written debate with you. Questions will be asked, and any answer that you come up with has to be backed with a valid and reliable source. And the guy was like, "No, that's a stupid rule. I'm not doing that." I'm like, "Okay, thank you very much."
You want me to cite my sources? Oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. So all right. One question that I have for you, being that you have about 1,200 videos, do you have like a favorite among them, or are they all kind of your children, so to
Mm.
speak?
Some of my debates with a guy called JM Truth are some of my favorites.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, you've had multiple with
oh yeah, I
Flat
think I
Earthers.
had four with JM Truth,
Wow.
and they are some of my favorites. There's one debate with a guy who calls himself a flat Earth preacher that was about 4 or 5 hours long, and I think I titled it "My Most Complete Destruction of a Flat Earther Ever." um, because by at the beginning of the debate he was very animated and very gung ho and I'm going to destroy you. By the end of the
Mm.
debate, the guy looked destroyed. I looked like I'd ruined his life. And that's probably one of my favorites is watching them just fall apart when I just completely destroy them.
Yeah. I'm just writing down the name of that 5 hour
Yeah.
spectacle. Okay.
And I did do a whole series of debates against a an entire Discord server. I think there
Wow.
was 13 episodes in that series,
Okay.
and they were probably some of the craziest debates I've ever had.
Uh, so wait, that was that one on one or is that like
Oh no, that
against?
was me versus about 20 people each time, including Austin Whitsitt.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Interesting. Now, um, so there was the one flat earther who was kind of famous, or I guess you could even say hated for going from being a flat earther to being a globe earther. I don't know if this is the one that you were talking about earlier. His name is Jaron Campanella.
yeah,
Yeah,
Jeranism. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and you had a discussion with him
Yeah, I
where
had a
at
couple of debates with him before well, just as he was about to, on the way to switching.
Mhm,
I'd been talking to him over a DM for a while, and he's actually, most flat earthers that I talk to are vile, horrible people, but Jaren seemed to be actually a decent person that you can have actual conversations with. So we
mhm.
agreed to have a couple of debates, and they went quite well. Um, and then we were having a discussion, and he said something, and I told him that he was wrong about it. And we had a big argument about this until I realized that I was actually wrong. And I said to him after a while, Jaren, you know what? You're completely right. I got that bit wrong. You're completely right. And I think that switched something in his brain. The fact
Yeah,
that, oh wait, he's actually being genuine. Maybe he does think the Earth's a globe. And then he listened back to our debates, and then he went to Antarctica, saw the 24-hour sun, and now he's not a flat earther anymore.
yeah, and then you had a discussion with him after he made the
Yeah,
switch, which was I only saw a few minutes of that, but it was actually I was like, oh, this is a different side,
yeah,
because what I had seen from you was you getting like really angry. Stephen Alonso was like, "Oh damn, man! Like you get you got furious with him," but I was like, "Yeah, he deserved it too,
yeah,
because of everything that he had insisted." But yeah, the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, which people were invited to join. What's his name? Flat Earth Dave was invited, and he was just like, "No, I'm not going."
yeah,
So that way he could claim that it's fake, and people claim that it's fake. Stephen Alonso believes that it's real and
yeah,
says, "Oh, well, here I can explain that 24-hour sun. What do you say? Reflection off the dome and all that stuff." And the other guy, the other YouTube personality, one of the English people who was on that trip to Antarctica, I forget his name, but he's
Dave,
he uh,
Dave McKeegan.
I believe, yeah, Dave
Yeah,
McKeegan. Yeah, that was him. Um, he showed why it couldn't have been reflection with his little device that he
yeah,
used that showed like, oh, I think this is the actual sun and this is what it does to a reflection. So it's like, no, sorry, you're wrong. But of course, at the end of the day, none of these people will ever admit that they've been defeated or whatever, like Steven
No.
Alonso, 3 hours of you literally explaining in detail what like how what you've done, and he's just sort of like, oh, well, that's your opinion. I'm like, no, it's not my fucking opinion. I've seen it myself. I've done it myself. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can get infuriating. The no matter how much evidence you show them, they would just have what we call the flurf reset.
Hmm.
You'll go through a 3 hour conversation with them, and then they'll ask for the same question they asked at the beginning, like they haven't just spoken to you for 3 hours.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
when you bang your head against the desk and you need to get out your facepalm protection.
That thing. Oh my goodness. What a thing. And when you did that on the debate with him, he actually sat there laughing like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a funny thing that you do," not realizing you're face palming because he's a complete moron.
I need
So,
to protect myself, otherwise your
yeah,
stupidity will hurt me.
like take my glasses and hat off and smack myself in the face because it's like it's coming. So I gotta protect myself. All right. Um, yeah, I guess that ought to just about wrap it up because, you can only say so much about the flat earth culture and the flat earth idiocy. And I guess I do have one other thing to say. When a person will create an argument, like they'll have a picture of this, excuse me, they'll have a picture of this globe, right?
Hmm.
And this one guy, he had like two beams coming up. I don't know if you've seen this meme where like the two beams coming up from the sides of the top and the side of the planet, and people walking up to the beam and like meeting each other at the point, and says, "How do you explain this?" I say, "You got to tip it so that the top is actually above, like not it's not going to be at the side, it's going to be above. It doesn't work that way." And I explained that to him in you know a good amount of detail. Stop responding to me, pose the same argument in another comment section. And I said, you know what, man? That's just what they're going to do. They don't want to hear the answer. They want you not to be able to answer. And when you can, they go away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'm out of questions. I don't know if you have any questions for me, or if you'd want to bring up anything that you want listeners to know about.
Well, I love doing the flat earth, even though it can be frustrating and it's the same arguments over and over and over. I find it endlessly entertaining. And I encourage everyone to go and check out all the debates on my channel, but make sure you wear some kind of protection when you do it. It's very,
Yeah.
very important. Um, yeah, I'm as well as doing obviously the flat earth debates, I'm debating like things like evolution and
Yes.
Christianity and stuff like that as well.
Oh, I wanted to bring up I'm sorry, that's one thing that I forgot to bring up was
That's
I
okay.
what was his name? Jim Bob. That was that recent, like
Yeah, a couple of months ago, yeah.
a couple months ago. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're telling him about how evolution works, and he's like insisting that it doesn't go through the scientific method and all that stuff. I was just sort of like, I don't even know how people like that can insist something like that. It's like, oh, because we don't see it again. We're not seeing it happen in real time. And you said, look, we don't have time machines, unfortunately, so we have to actually go based on our fossils. And he's like, tell me how it works. Walk me through the scientific method. And you did. And then he's like, I don't want to hear it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, uh, and then you, and then you simplified it, and you gave a list of 9 things, and you just kind of went down that list. It took like maybe 4 seconds to do. And he goes, yeah, but you're not explaining any of that. And you said, I
But
did
you
just
didn't want.
before. I did just before, but you were crying because I was explaining too much. It's too complicated for me. Yeah, I don't know.
The argument, what I found from that debate very interesting is that it was very much like a flat Earth debate. The
Oh yeah.
denial of how science works, the refusal to listen to evidence, and just resetting to his preconceived ridiculous notions.
Hmm.
It's amazing. Um,
I,
yeah,
I will say, I mean, I give them credit when they're well spoken and they know how to actually express themselves to that point. I'm like, how are you, like, how do you speak intellectually but sound like a complete moron at the same time. It's that's fascinating to me. That
Yeah,
really is. It's
there is
it.
a there is some flat earthers that do that, like especially Austin Whitsett,
Yeah.
who can talk a million words a minute without
Mhm.
saying anything. And to the uneducated, you can, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Look at all the big words he's saying.
Oh
But
yes,
when you actually listen and dissect, it means nothing.
as Jim Bob calls it, it's gish galloping, but they
Yeah.
actually do gish galloping.
Yeah,
It's
they don't
it's
like when I try and explain something. They ask for an explanation, so I go through the explanation. Oh, you're just
Mhm.
gish galloping. No,
Yeah.
I'm just doing the thing you asked me to.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Um, and as a last resort, rather than saying here's my proof, I say, look, here's what I believe is proof. Why don't you go ahead and disprove it?
Yeah.
And oh, they throw a fit when I do that. Like, no, you summarize that whatever the article or thing or like, documentary that you're sending to me, you summarize it for me so I can. I'm like, you can't you can't read it yourself. You can't take the information and dissect it and disprove it. So
No, they need their
yeah.
mum to read it to them.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's about the size of it.
Yeah.
So you have let people know about your YouTube channel, FTFE, Craig McNeill. I mean,
Yeah.
is that what it's called? Just
Yeah.
FTFE?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
FTFE. Craig McNeill or FTFE. You'll find me.
All right. And, of course, listeners, be sure to listen to my podcast. This is Bullshit Hour with John Seymour. I hesitate to publish it as Bullshit Hour because, the flirt's going to be like, oh, you even admit that it's bullshit. And I'm like,
Oh no,
yikes.
that'd be funny that they don't understand.
These are yes,
That'd be hilarious.
these are conversations. My other podcast, The Hour of Comics, is upon us, where I talk about well-known or maybe not so well-known comics, and we have a good time. Um, My friend Greg Vorob has a podcast called Star Trek: The Undiscovered Podcast. Craig, I know that you are a Star Trek fan. I've seen the tattoo. Now, do you have one on the other side
Well,
also?
that's not a Star Trek one. That's just a family tattoo.
Oh, it must have been. I'm sorry. That must have been either when you were getting it live or maybe a mirror image or something. Because I thought you were getting another Star Trek tattoo with
No, well, this one was getting filled in when I did it
the
live.
with the Starship Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, Star Trek The Undiscovered Podcast. I of course play drums in a band called Chris Cyanide. We are performing August 2nd. That's a Saturday at a place called Nostalgia at 380 North Wantagh Ave in Bethpage, New York, which is in Long Island. And we are playing August 16th at Lucy's at 446 Bedford Road in Pleasantville, New York. My metal band, My Haunted Past, is doing a benefit event fundraiser for ALS research. November
nice.
8th, yeah, November 8th, Whiskey Rocks, 419 Great East Neck Road in West Babylon, New York, which is also in Long Island. And my wife, she holds events where people play music and we gather money. It's called Metalheads Against Animal Cruelty. Another great uh, fundraising idea event. People come out, they have a great time, pay for tickets. The money all goes to animal shelters, and it's really great. And
Cool.
with that, yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll just announce one of the things I'm doing. Towards the end of the month, I'll be doing another challenge for SAFA, the Armed Forces charity, where I'll be doing 1,000 push-ups live
Oh,
and getting donations. The last time I did it, it was just over 3 hours it took me, so I'll be trying to beat my record.
wow. Yeah, I do 30 push-ups. That's really good.
I tried to do 300 to 400 a day.
That is, yeah. I mean, you said you were military, right?
It was,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I guess I was never military. I like to keep in shape, but I don't do 400 push-ups a day. Uh, but maybe someday I'll get there. I'm 42 years old, just like you, right? You're still,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's
Yeah, my body doesn't like it sometimes. It's like, you're not
yeah,
20, right? I'm like, shut up and
starting
do push-ups.
starting to feel the effects of aging. You wake up just randomly, you can't get back to sleep, all that fun
Oh,
stuff.
good Lord.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The days of being able to lie in seem to be gone. Once I wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I guess I'm up now.
That's it. That's it. My wife's the same way. Like, oh God, I get up to use the bathroom and then I'm laying in bed for 2 hours. Like, holy
Yeah.
smokes. Like, might as well get up. There's coffee. All right, go ahead. Well, Craig, thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
No worries, John. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you on. And I hope to keep in contact with you on Facebook,
Yeah,
and I will let you know when this is publicized.
I will link it on my channel and everything. So thank you very much.
Can you say that one more time? You cut out.
Yeah, I said I will link it on my channel and everything once it's all out. So everyone, I'll put it on my community page to link to it, and everyone can come and see it from my side.
Great. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much. And on that note,
Thank
I
you.
will say thank you. Good night, Craig. I know it's
Take
late.
care.
I know it's late where you are, so I'll let you go do the late night stuff. So good
Okay.
night.
Catch you later. Bye bye.
All right.
I can't fall for anymore. Watch me walking out the door. If I'm gonna believe in her, I might as well believe in flat earth. I might as well believe in flat earth. I might as well